Welcome to Light Muse, you guys. We're your hosts, Flannery Underwood
and Jessica Cabesi.
And today we're talking with photographer Brandon Woelfel. And if you don't already know his name, which you probably do, you'll most likely recognize his style of photography, which I like to think is more like characterized by like your creamy pastel neon lights and colors, kind of like low light and nighttime photography. So Brandon, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Literally, I'm so excited for your guys' podcast. Like, it will definitely be one of my most listened to. Because, like, I'm always trying to find, like, photography podcasts, but are also, like, chill and not so, like, businessy. And I feel like that's, like, your vibe. So I'm totally
For sure.
We love
for
you.
Sure.
Like, listen, when we were setting up this podcast, I literally told Flan, I'm like, we need Brandon on here 100%. Like, we're not continuing until Brandon's on this podcast. And I knew, you know, you're on Animal Crossing, planting your trees. I'm like, he'll maybe do it. He'll maybe do it.
You see me logging on, you're like, I think he has the time.
I think he has.
We're going to start off with a little quick set of rapid fire questions for you. So don't think too much about them.
Okay.
Just answer them as quickly as you can. I promise they're easy.
Okay.
First question, where are you right now? And describe 3 things you're in the room with.
Okay, if you saw so I'm in my like office. This is where I edit my photos and like film some videos if it's not my room. And if you saw my desk, you would be very disappointed, but the camera view is just picking up me in the background, so that's all that matters. 3 things around me. I have a cute little moon neon thing that's like lighting me. I have a lens filter thing, like for which one is this? This is the Hoya cross screen filter. And then what else do I have? I have my Nintendo Switch. So very on brand.
All essentials.
You need it. You need it.
Next question, sum up your quarantine experience in 3 words.
Animal Crossing. Brendan's like, let me not say Animal Crossing.
Let's say, this is 4 words. I was going to say sleeping at 6 a.m. because that's my sleep schedule.
Okay, so how long have you been a photographer for?
I've been doing photography for, I don't know the exact like date I started, obviously, but like I would say like 6.5 years.
And what camera do you shoot on?
I shoot with a Nikon Z7 currently.
And what's your favorite lens?
Recently the 24-70, which is like shocking for me. Yeah, Jessica's face. She's like, are you okay?
Are you joining the club?
I am filming on it right now.
Wow.
It's become pretty essential for me, which is, I haven't even been shooting, but just the thought of it gets me excited. So.
Wow. I mean, wow. It's a full-blown relationship. It's such a short time.
Things are getting really serious.
What happened?
We've updated our Facebook status.
What happened to the 85? I mean, is it in the picture still?
The 35 and the 85 are just like, they're there. They're in our family, but they're to the side, you know.
Ooh.
They still get their time to shine, but they're taking a seat right now.
They're on the bench. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so introvert or extrovert?
Okay, I'm definitely an ambivert, and I've thought about this a lot. I'm definitely
Ooh, love.
both.
Who is your favorite animal or neighbor on Animal Crossing?
Ooh, this is really rough. Okay, I just invited a new one.
What?
Love. Who?
Yeah, because I need to fill up my land. I invited Marina. She's like a pink little octopus, and I'm really excited about her. She hasn't moved in just yet. She's coming in tomorrow, but nonetheless, I would say she's my upcoming favorite for sure. She's a little cutie.
She's not even in his town, and she's a favorite. Wow.
Yeah, y'all better watch out.
Hey,
She's
it's like the
24
24-70.
to
New
70.
things coming in. It's in 2020, new year.
Quarantine's making me do crazy things. The 24-70 got a new
you.
Animal Crossing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild.
Okay, which app do you spend most of your time on?
I honestly, recently, it would have to be TikTok. I'm not going to lie to you.
Feel you. Okay, dream location and model.
I would honestly love to shoot Billie Eilish. I shot her like from like the pit of like a concert, but it would be so cool to do like a 1-on-1 shoot with her. And honestly, probably like a giant like neon factory with her. Like that would be insane.
One photography trend you love and one trend you'll pass on.
I would pass on probably like, I don't want to like offend people.
It's quarantine. We're all inside. We're not going to do anything.
No one
I
will
mean, this
come
is kind of
stalk
like an
you.
old trend, it's an old trend, so I guess I'm like over it by this point. But like I guess the like kind of craft store like Hobby Lobby challenge, I'm kind of like, it's had its time to shine.
Now the
You know
stores
what I
are
mean?
closed.
It's
They're
like you're
closed.
85. It's done.
Especially now, like let's not go to craft stores to take photos.
Yeah,
Stay
let's
now's
inside.
not the time.
Just don't leave your house.
And a trend I like,
Yes.
I think I still am in love with like different like shining direct light through like different objects. That's still a trend that I'm like obsessed with because you can like continue it with like different materials. Like you could use a strainer, which is like obviously like that's kind of like that. I feel like that's kind of the 5 minute crafts vibe, and I've done it. But I feel like there's so many options with it. You can shine it through like like a stained glass window or like some kind of like cool material. I don't know. I'm still in love with that one.
Cool. Okay, what is the best part about being a photographer?
I feel like this is kind of cheesy, but probably just all of the people I've met for sure.
Okay, and what's the worst part?
Like you guys.
Brand, I was waiting for it. I was like, should I
Just is
accept
like,
it?
the worst part, I guess, this is kind of like, is it niche or niche? I say niche, but I don't know which one it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I feel like this is based towards like social media, like more photographers, but I guess just like the commentary you receive by trying to put your work out online and trying to build your brand on that realm of things.
Yeah, for sure.
It can be pretty harsh, especially when you really like the photo and then you just get roasted for it
Totally.
and it's your favorite one. So I
That's your
understand,
favorite one.
Brandon.
A tear.
I feel like
falls
you
from
handle
our
that
eyes.
well, though, Brandon. I feel like, I mean, do you get a lot of comments like that? Because I don't really feel like you do. I see your Instagram comments. They're usually very positive. Everyone seems to really like your work.
Oh, thanks. I feel like it definitely comes across through like if a tweet like blows up on Twitter or like a YouTube for you, it's like a YouTube video that reaches a different like audience. For my Instagram, I feel like it's very like close knit to the people that follow me, so they're obviously there to like see my photos. So the comments are going to be positive, but when like a tweet goes to a different sort of like genre of humans, like they're like, what is this? Or like, you know, with your videos, I'm sure like they'll, if like one blows up, you're not going to get the nicest comment. So it definitely like pick and choose like when that comes into play. But for the most part, I'm obviously like so thankful for people being positive because it's definitely harsh out there.
What's
So
the
true.
response like on your before and afters? Because I feel like those people love to see them and they're very interesting. And I feel like you really popularized that, you know, putting the on Twitter, you do it on Tumblr, I'm sure, and you do it on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I grew up like super. I mean, this kind of came later in the game and like my like art life, I guess. But like I am super into like computer art. I studied that in college, so it's been a big part of like my process. And I think sharing those before and afters is like awesome because it like shows other people that, you know, you can take a not so good photo that you're not so confident in and turn it into something that you are, you know, in love with. And I know people kind of they may say like, oh, that isn't photography to a point. But for me, it's like I just like I'm doing what I like and I'm not like categorized into one thing. And I don't know like I don't know why we like need to categorize certain photography or like that's an editor versus like a photographer. I'm just like having fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so interesting. That's like exactly what we were talking about in one of our other episodes where we're just talking about how people are so quick to judge, and art is art and it's your self-expression, and it is hard when you're putting it out into the world consistently. And you know, we always like joke around saying that like I would love it if like your name came with some sort of credits, like who are you to judge on this piece of art? Like, are you an art major? Did you study this? Did you like, what's your background? Like, you know, do you do photography? And I think obviously everyone's entitled to their opinion, but you know, on the internet, everyone suddenly becomes a professional. Like even with COVID, everyone suddenly is like a medical professional giving all this like advice on like what you're supposed to do. And it's just so
Totally.
funny how quickly it like shifts into that
Did you see that one meme? It's like I got my certification for coronavirus studies and at WhatsApp University because all like my mom's Arab, so she'll get forwarded messages like from like, oh, drink lemon juice to cure the coronavirus. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
stop
Yep.
forwarding that to my parents, please.
Yep. So true. Okay, wait. So I only have 3 more on our little like rapid fire round, and then we can kind of get into some other stuff. But
Cool. Not so rapid, but it's
not.
fine.
I know. We went off, but it's fine. Okay. What or where is the coolest place photography has ever taken you?
I feel like anywhere abroad is cool. I'm not the biggest like world traveler, so it's awesome to like even just go out of the country. Last spring I went to Ireland, so I'll go with that. And that was a really cool, fun opportunity.
I need to go. It's like sacrilegious. My name's Flannery, and I've never been to Ireland. Like,
Oh my God, let's all go.
I know. Oh my God, I'm so down. Okay, so any cool projects coming up or things that you have like on the horizon? Like I know Corona has kind of like thrown a wrench in everyone's plans, but anything exciting coming up or things you want to like shout out?
Yeah, I feel like definitely some of my projects got delayed due to like Corona. And I literally feel like I only have one thing I'm looking forward to, and that's like my release of my upcoming photo book. So that's the one thing I'm like excited for right now because it's the only thing that's actually like set in stone. There's no like actual release date, but it's something that is actually going to happen versus like the unknown of like the world and other like freelance projects I'm doing.
Amazing.
Tell
Can
us
you
the name
like
of your
tell us a
book.
little about it? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. It's called Ultraviolet, and it's like a second release from my first photo book that was Luminescence. And yeah, I'm super excited. This one shares a little bit more. There's some writing in it. There's before and afters. There's like behind the scenes. I wanted to showcase a little bit more into my process versus just like every page being like a different photo that you could just like look at, which is obviously like I love those books too. I think it was fun doing that with Luminescence, but this one I think is more interesting and like captivating in terms of like that content that's in it.
I love that, Brandon.
Very
That's
cool.
such a
Yeah,
good
I'll
concept.
definitely send you. I'm gonna send you guys one for sure. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
You gotta write me like a whole ass note, like
Oh,
Jessica,
for sure.
thank you, like for
For sure.
giving me apples on Animal Crossing and letting me sell pears in your town.
Absolutely.
Last question is where can people find you online?
You can find me at Brandon Woelfel everywhere. And that's basically it. And then it's Brandon Woelfel _ Woelfel on TikTok because someone took my name.
Ooh, who took your
Wow.
name?
I don't know.
Should we like send a message?
Investigate?
DM?
Yeah.
I was joking.
Throw
He's watching
hands?
this and he's like, I will never return her.
It's like $30.
$30? I'll pay for it.
I
I
would
got
do
you.
it.
I'll get it back
My
for you,
friend,
Brandon.
someone took my friend's username and they were asking $1,000. And I was like, it's not that deep.
Oh,
That's a
yeah.
businessman right there. Wow, we gotta kind of respect that in a
It's
way.
true.
He's like, let me just make a copy of everybody's usernames.
That's
He
a
opens up his
hustle.
jacket. He has everyone's usernames.
So would you like Brandon Woelfel? $200, please.
We kind of did the rapid fire, but now we can dive a little bit deeper and just talk a little bit more. And I think maybe one topic to like start out with and a question that like I had to, because like you and Jess have known each other for a really long time. Like I've known you for a couple years since I met you through the Four Photographers series, but you know, I wonder like for you, like what's like one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about you?
It's funny because I feel like on social media, like because we're photographers, it's like I started out definitely like no one knew what I looked like at all. I was just sharing my work, and it's kind of evolved into like me like as part of like my brand. It's more not just like my photos, like obviously like now I have a YouTube and like other things where I'm showing like me. So I don't know if there's complete misconceptions, but it's funny to see like people that know just my work versus the people that know like me and my personality. And sometimes like I know when I'm like doing a live or something, there's people that like they're like, I don't even know what you look like, or like I didn't even know like what your voice sounded like or whatnot. So it's just like people knowing like the person behind the like work you see online.
Yeah. And now that you have such like a very like established style, and I feel like you've had it for so long now, I think it was really interesting what you said before too, and I've never actually thought about it that way, of that you have this like pool of people that know you and are your fans, but if you get thrown into another community randomly, they might not understand you. I've never thought about like social media like that, where like if you, it's almost like walking into the wrong classroom. You're like, oh, I'm not supposed
Oh
to
my
be
gosh,
here. Like,
exactly.
you know,
That's
that's like the
exactly it.
feeling. How do you like deal with like other communities who like don't understand you or like come at you like super super negatively, if that even happens? I don't know, you're like so likable and like your content's so like friendly to people. I just, it's so hard for me to like imagine that,
Oh
but I'm
no,
sure
no, it
everyone
definitely
gets
happens. I'm like, no, it happens. Yeah, I just try and like obviously deflect it. Like it's something that I don't ever give attention to. Like maybe that's why you might think that, because I'm never like really posting on my story like attacking this person for attacking me. I kind of just like let it go. And I that's like my like number one tip for any type of like hate you get is just literally like taking it in and like trying not to respond even though you want to so bad. Sometimes I'll be like petty and like someone commented on my photo last night and they were just like, this is overrated, and then like I went to their or like you're overrated or something like that, and I went to their profile and they were following me, so I just replied and I was like, sweet, and you're still following me for what? Like, so sometimes I'm like a little petty, but like other
The
times I try and reel it
tea.
in and I reel it in and like not say anything, but I don't take it to heart. Sometimes I'm just like, they're commenting about my work, and like my work in some degree is a reflection of me, but it's not me personally and they don't know me personally, so you know, it's a photo you're looking at, it's not me. So that's how I try and like
Have either
swerve
of
it.
you guys, like you or Jess, had a comment where it's affected you so much where it's like lasted for like a long period of time? Like, I don't know, like you guys are so and so much a part of like the public eye that it comes along with like being who you are, that you're gonna get like a ton of positive and some negative stuff in there. But like, has there ever been a moment where like, wow, that one like really got me? You don't have to like share what it is or like what it, but like, has there ever been a moment where it like really like hits you?
Brandon, who wants to go first?
I don't, I mean, there's definitely comment. I don't think there was like that one that I was like, my life is over. But I definitely, Jessica can probably relate. There's definitely like an influx of certain comments that you'll see, and I think getting the like the same ones maybe has like swerved my way of either like creating or the way I do something. And maybe I didn't even like know that at the time because I just tried not to do that the next time. Um, so it's just little things like that, but nothing crazy.
Brandon, have you gotten the, oh, this looks like it was taken on an iPhone comment? Yeah, I get those.
I know I haven't.
No way.
I don't
Okay,
get
that's
that.
great.
No.
That's amazing. Someone comments
Oh,
after this podcast, your photo looks like it was taken
I
on
hope
an iPhone.
please go comment that on
I'm
my
gonna
latest
comment
post,
that
yeah.
right now, actually, and see. Everyone's gonna be like, that's mean." I get that
You get that
sometimes.
one a lot?
I get it sometimes, and it's like, I mean, you could take it as a compliment. Like, iPhone has some good quality now. So is that?
Oh, for
Are you
sure.
like complimenting me? So I'm like, thank you. I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Um,
iPhone 11 Max.
And on the other hand, it's just it's kind of like, how do you take it? Because you could take it personally, or you can just like kind of laugh about it. I go through, I don't know about you, Brandon, but I go through this phase where I read it and I'm like, ugh, and then I'm like, okay, like I'll laugh about this. It's fine. iPhone's not that bad.
Yeah, totally. I feel like that's if you like sit on it and like just not respond back within the first 5 minutes, you'll be fine. Like you'll
Yeah.
get over it, I feel like.
So with like your distinct style, like how long did it take you to get there? And like, was there a moment where you felt like, oh wow, this is now like the style I'm going for? Or was there a moment where you like selected it and was like, I'm just gonna go in this direction? Or how did that work?
Yeah, I feel like everyone like definitely relates me to like the certain style of photography that I have, but it was never something that I like went into like I'm gonna like be this like little industry plant that like has this style and you're all gonna like relate it to me. Like I didn't think that way. I think it was just something
Yeah.
that happened over time, and I think any photographer can relate to like editing a certain style and going one route versus a different one. And I think with me, like I've always been into art, and like when I do different mediums, it's like a weird thing where I always have this like particular style, and I think everyone does when they create. They might just not know it.
Yeah.
And for me, like with photography, it was just another different medium that I could take like my creativity into. And I think just from other like styles of art I've done, or like mediums, like I've done like sculpture and computer art and like drawing and painting, and I think it all just like made its way into my photography in a way.
Have you ever had like a moment, and maybe like back when you were starting, because you've been shooting for a long time now, like have you ever had like an imposter syndrome moment where like you walked into a room or done something with a client and be like, oh my god, how did I get here? Like wow, like almost like a like it hit that moment, you know?
I feel like I think that like almost every day sometimes. It's a weird thing I go through. I'm just
Really?
like, I'll, it may not be like, how did I get here? But it's almost like, is my work even good? Or like, what am I doing? Like, I am always like questioning myself. And I think people may see like my following or like my work and think like he like knows everything, he has it all, whatever. But like, I know you guys can relate. Like, you still second guess your work, you second guess everything you do. And that's something that I feel like I'm just dealing with every day. I never am like finding. I mean, I'm obviously trying to find a way around it, but I know that's something that comes with being creative and sharing your work online.
What else do you struggle with? Because that is one thing I've struggled with. But is it more so, like creatively? Is it just like the response, the reactions that you get from yourself? Like, what are your like major struggles with photography, or even in your life, honestly?
Yeah, I think creativity. What was that word? Oh my god,
Creativity.
made a new word. Um, Creatively, I think it's just having like, I mean, as artists, like, and artists that have come in the past, like I feel like social media has made us into this like working machine where we have to create like every single day. And there was a time like last year, it was as soon as last year, where I was posting a picture on Instagram every single night, and it was like a new photo every single night. Like I never reposted, and like that just thought now like scares me. Like how, I don't know how anyone does that. It's just like I feel like as artists we're not meant to create so often, and social media kind of lends its hand to like the ones that actually are consistent. With, I mean, with YouTubers, it's like it is art to a degree, but at the same time, like other people are just sharing their life or sharing their lifestyle. Where to us, I feel like it's a little different, just because we're creating an image or a piece of art where we're gonna second guess that whether we like it or not, and it's hard creating consistently, and I think that's something I deal with every day because I'm forced to be like, what did I post on social media today? It's like another day, another, like, my stories expired last night. We gotta get we
My
gotta
story
post more.
expired. I saw that you posted every single day last year, especially, and I used to think to myself, how does he do it? I'm struggling to post like once a week right now and edit this picture.
Yeah, I would be like literally out like at a bar, and then I would be like, I need to post. It was like this, I don't know what got over me. Like it was this weird thing, and I'm like, now if I'm having fun or like in the moment, or I don't want to create, I don't. And I think that's something that I've learned to kind of like not put that pressure on myself.
Do you have an alarm so that when it's a time to post, it's like, Brandon, it's Instagram
I
time?
think it was almost like second nature. I was like, it's feeling like that time again, and I need to post. And I still have a time that I post every night, or when I do want to post, I have like a particular time that I've just like accustomed to.
Isn't it 12?
Um, it is 12
I
o'clock at
noticed. I
midnight.
noticed that every time at 12, I'm like, yep, Brandon on the dot.
Yes, it's clockwork.
Is there a reason why you chose that time?
Yeah, I get that a lot. Everyone's like, "Why do you post at midnight? This is like strange." Well, people now expect me to, so that's kind of fun. They're like, "Where, like, it's gonna come? I know it is. It's midnight." But also, like, I'm such a night owl. Like, I was explaining my sleep routine to you guys. So I'm always, whether I like it or not, I'm up at midnight. It's gonna happen. And I feel like that's the time where I like sit down with myself and like can like work on photos. Like I start editing a photo at like 9 or 10, and then I can post it by like midnight. That's just like a routine I found, and having some kind of routine has helped, because as freelancers, you like, it's hard to have, like Flannery asked, like that work life balance. And I feel like having an actual posting time has like allowed me to have some sanity there.
What would you say, like, the percentage of your time you spend like shooting versus editing?
I think for me, it's definitely editing. I only shoot like I shot once this week, and like that's kind of normal for me sometimes. Like I'll only shoot like once or twice a week. Maybe I'll go a week without shooting, and that's normal. And I think it's funny because you can get so many photos out of like an hour shoot, and like people don't realize that. Like you can literally shoot like our 10-second versus 10-minute challenge on YouTube, like on your YouTube channel. We literally shot for 10 seconds and we each got photos out of it that we posted on social media. It's like, or shared to our portfolios. It's a crazy concept how like one shutter click, like you're done. I mean, obviously you would go into the editing process, but
That's it. Just
I
one.
don't,
Just one picture.
I don't, yeah. People, sometimes it could take really fast for me to shoot, like, like minutes. But editing is a whole different ballgame. I have to like prepare myself. I'm like, okay, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna edit this photo for like an hour, and you're gonna enjoy it.
What's next for you? Like, what are you looking forward to? Like, what are you like trying to explore next, like in your own work?
Yeah, I think for me, I definitely take it day by day, and I've never been someone to like plan out things, and that might be like a fault of mine. But I don't really like. I'm not really planning out my like 5-year plan creatively. I have like a 5-year plan like life wise. Like I do want to do different things within like my lifestyle, but creatively I'm honestly just taking it day by day, and I don't have a plan. And I think sometimes we need to like normalize that, and not having a plan is totally okay for you. And I found it to work out. Obviously you need to plan certain things, like you said you're more of a prepper, and that's, I think it's just a different type of like style of creating.
When people meet you, like, do you get recognized like in the street? Like, you live in New York and there's so many people there, and you're out probably shooting like in public. Like, do a lot of people like come up to you, or like when people recognize you, like what do they usually like say to you?
Jessica's shaking her head. She's like, yes.
I've
'Cause
been with
she's-
Brandon during all of this.
Yeah. Jessica does too, though.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
Oh yeah.
You're so kind. Thanks. But I love.
They're like, who's
seeing-
that?
They're
friend
like,
with you?"
who's this girl?
No.
Wait, they hand me the iPhone. Can you take a picture of me and Brandon? I'm like, absolutely. I love it. It's the cutest thing ever to see people react to seeing Brandon. It just
Okay, you
I
too,
love it.
though.
Oh my god, we're talking about you, Brandon. This is about you. Me and Brandon have been on quite a few trips together. We've been to like photography conventions. So when I'm like walking with him on the streets in New York, sometimes people will come up to him, and it's just I absolutely, it's like my favorite part of the day. Honestly, I love seeing people react to you, Brandon, and just they're like, you inspire me so much. You know, I started doing this because of you. And I don't know, do you feel, I don't know about you, but like, how do you feel when people tell you that?
It's crazy. It's weird how you could like be walking. I mean, okay, to preface, Jessica's like acting like some like celebrity.
Oh
It
my-
happens like a few times. But it's super weird to like even just walk past someone that may know you versus like you not knowing them, and like how you could have like an impact in their life and you don't even like know them. And I think that's the fun part of like posting on social media, is that you can have this like effect on someone's life and you don't even know them. And that's wild. That's truly wild.
Do you ever get the tweets that say, oh, I saw Brandon, but I was too shy to come up to him. So like I missed my
Yeah.
opportunity, because sometimes I'll get stuff like that and it breaks my heart. I'm like, please, like come up to me next time.
I know. I think also this may be like a misconception, is like I don't know if people think this of you, but like they might not think you're like as nice in real life or a different way in real life. But I get that. They're like, I was too scared. And I'm like, no, like I'm just chilling. Like I swear I'm not busy.
You're the
Whatever I'm
sweetest
doing,
person.
I'm never that busy.
So Brandon, what's like the most asked question that like people like approach you with? Like not even just like meeting you on the street, but like comments you get. Like obviously I'm sure you get like, what are you shooting on? Like what's your lens? But like beyond that,
Totally.
like what do people want to know about you that you consistently get?
I mean, yeah, other than what camera do you use, which is like every other comment.
Number
I feel
one.
like they're asking all the wrong questions. I mean, for me, I would ask like, what like, I'm like turning this into like what would I ask? But like
I
I
love
feel
it.
like I would ask like, what time of day did you shoot this at, or what were your settings, versus people being so hung up on gear. And I think that is my most asked question. That's why I'm like saying this. Is you know, even your lens is more important than like the camera body you use. So yeah, for sure what camera I use. But I don't think it's the most useful because I could use, me and Jessica swapped cameras and our photos still look how they do. So
Mine were terrible, even with your camera,
they
even
were
with your
good.
entire setup. It really, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. Like the questions people should be asking because they want to know the settings. What do you think about people asking for the settings of the picture? Do you think that makes a difference?
I know I get that question a lot, and I think it could if I think it would definitely help, but I think also you have to take into a lot of factors when you're thinking about settings. You have to think about, you could take a photo in the pitch black of night and you can make it look day, and people might not know that you did that. You might not know the time of day, so I think it depends on like the lighting and what you were trying to get out of it. Because like I could have my shutter at like 1/4000th and people are like, why did you have it that high? I'm like, because I was trying to capture motion or something. So I think you need to know the intent behind the photo before, and like the lighting and time of day, versus to know why my settings were useful and whatnot.
So golden hour, I would say, is your favorite time to shoot.
I definitely go through like my stages. Like for me, I love having a shoot start near golden hour so I can get, obviously I like shooting at night too. So I like having that like golden hour into blue hour, like into night, and having that like variety. For me, when I shoot, I love to get like so much variety because I don't shoot that often, like I was mentioning. So when I do shoot, I like to get like a bulk of photos that all look different, even if we're changing up the outfit a million times. People don't realize it's the same shoot because of like the location or the lighting is different. And I feel like that's something I've learned is like I can't shoot every single day. So when I do shoot, really making sure I get the most out of it.
Shoot for like an entire month, basically. Make it last. Stretch it out.
How do you feel about people who copy your style? And obviously, like, art is art, and you don't have like a patent on like bokeh, but like, people, I've seen like filter packs that people have sold that are like, this is Brandon Woelfel's style. It's like, how do you feel about people being inspired by you, or people like almost using your name to like sell things? Like, where do you kind of like draw the line with that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think when it comes to people being inspired by me and like people shooting like me, I totally am for it. I actually like love to see it. And I think even just like, I'm sure us starting out, like when we looked up to certain photographers and we wanted to emulate what they were creating too. So we would, even if we weren't like doing it out of like pure intent, we were trying to shoot somewhat like them. And I think that's totally fine when you're starting out. And obviously as you keep shooting, your style will evolve. But when it comes to like you said, like selling different filter packs or like profiting off of me, like I'm not loving that. Like obviously like I'm not here for that. And it's funny seeing like, this is how he like Brandon Woelfel edits, and like I watch it. Like I actually don't try and watch them because I'm just like, I know how I edit. I don't like, I'm not trying to watch a video, but like, it's funny when I have seen them and it's just like not right.
Yeah.
Brandon's like, that's not what I do. Like,
I'm like, I don't even use Lightroom.
Oh my God.
They open up MS Paint. Well, first Brandon uses this program. Brandon, I think it was the first time I met you. It was on the set for the 4 Photographers episode, and I had contacted you to be part of it. Is that right? It's the first time I met you.
I think so. Yeah.
Really? Do you remember that experience? Do you remember anything about that episode?
I remember the whole thing. I think it's very memorable just because it was my first time like actually doing like this kind of fun like YouTube setup challenge. Like it was so unknown, and at the time like I knew, like it was funny because I knew Derek and Jerry, but I didn't know you. So going into it, like I was like, I know these people, like it'll be good. But it was like way more fun than I even imagined, and I'm so glad we can do them all the time. So
thank you. Oh my God. What was your favorite part about the 4 Photographers video?
Which one? I'm in a lot.
Because, okay, for those listening, Brandon was actually a part, I think you were in I think you were the person that was in the most of them. I loved having you on there. I like adore your personality. Like your style is amazing. So it's like you were such a perfect fit for it. There were the one with Tashi definitely was so much fun for me. What was your most memorable moment about that episode?
I think for me it was like I at that time I was so used to like I was like stuck in my own ways, and I mean to a point like I am anyways, but um at that time it was so fun to like dive into all of your photography styles and shoot an outfit like I wouldn't normally shoot, or shoot in a certain like location or lighting that I wouldn't normally do, and it like took me out of my comfort zone in like the best way possible, because like for me I liked the photos from like your like all of your setups versus like mine. Like I liked all of yours better at this point, so like it was just fun. Like I feel like it almost like being in these videos has like formulated my like photography style in a way I like wouldn't normally go with, so I'm thankful for that.
One of the photos that I remember, I honestly say, I would say that it's like an iconic part of this series. The one that you took of Sydney Harper, where she had her hands kind of like this. I have seen
Yeah.
that everywhere. I think that honestly, that was my favorite photo of the entire episode. Like,
Oh my gosh, thank
can you
you.
talk to us about the thought process behind that picture? Because you only had 3 minutes to take it.
It's so crazy like looking back at those videos and like knowing we only had like a few minutes to get the shot, and then like actually liking the shot is like a whole nother part of it. um and I can't remember, like I wish I like refresh my memory if I went first or not, but for me like I I love shooting in front of like different kind of like foliage or like bushes, and like having Sydney there with the props that we had available, like, and like just the way she's able to pose. Like I don't normally shoot with like more like high fashion models, so having like all those in like the combination like made for that photo that I'm still like definitely one of my favorites for sure.
I see it everywhere. And I mean, even Sydney, we had Sydney on the podcast too, and she was
Oh
talking about
really?
that photo in specific. It's just crazy because, these portraits, it's so simple. You were just using your camera and your lens, and you were able to take a photo like this in all natural light. What comments have you received about that picture specifically? Have you gotten any comments that were like, did you use strobes or a reflector?
Yeah, I mean, I think I get that with like all of my work in general. Is just like people thinking it's a bigger production than it is. I think the Four Photographers videos like shine a great light on how it actually is for us, like more natural light shooters. I mean, obviously we shoot with different kind of like flashes and external lights sometimes, but for the most part, we're really using what's on hand, and I think the videos show that well. And I do get that comment all the time, is like what they want to know, the exact lighting setup, and I think showing the behind the scenes of how it actually goes down is super useful, because for us it's, you know, like I said, we just kind of go with it, and it somehow ends up looking okay. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of
sometimes.
them are like panic decisions. You're like, oh my God. You're like, I blacked out. I don't know what happened, but we were in the bush and like, you know, yeah, it's so true. Like seeing you guys do these very short amount of like time for the shoots, like 3 minutes is so quick. Usually we're used to having as much time as we need. And like you guys always crush it, but I think it's also like the adrenaline, because like I'm shooting you guys and you're like running around, and it's it's just so funny because like you go into a zone. Every photographer goes into this mental state of like, okay, we got to get this done, and like trying a million different things, and somehow yeah, the photos like turn out amazing like every time. Like even I'm
I'm
blown away, and I'm
yeah.
like watching you guys doing it.
I'm shocked every time that we actually have photos to work with. Like it's so funny like watching it back and like us immediately checking. I'm like, did we even get like one that's in focus? Like that's my big thing. I'm like, is anything in focus? Like I will work with what I
Yeah.
have, but like one thing needs to be in focus. And I know you guys can relate to that.
You just sharpen it in Lightroom, like clarity to 100.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Brandon, how long do you usually take for photo shoots? Because then for photographers, you get 3 minutes. But how does a regular photo shoot look like in terms of time?
Yeah, so if I'm shooting with like a model out on location, um, for us, I feel like it takes like an hour to an hour and a half, and within that, maybe 2 hours, but within that time period, I get like a big chunk of photos. So it just depends on like the location I'm at versus like if I'm shooting like a certain concept, and like for you, I'm sure if it's like you have this, both of you, if you have this exact like concept in your mind, and you're trying to like execute that, that could take up to the same amount of time, but you only get one photo out of it. Um, and I think for me, it's just like which kind of route am I going within that shoot. So yeah, it just depends, but it could take up to hours, but also like 5 minutes. There's no in between.
You leave with like 500 pictures. Like, so I think for mine, I don't know about you, Brandon, but one time I left a photo shoot with like 1,000 pictures. Like, what's the most you've taken?
Definitely thousands, like probably over 1,000 for sure. That's like kind of normal for me. Like I shoot like way too much.
Okay, I have a question for both of you guys. When you shoot, no matter how many, if it's 300 or 1,000 from one shoot and you come back, do you keep all of those images or do you delete some of the other ones? Because like I have this problem where I feel like I need to keep all of the photos, even the ones that are like I haven't even edited or I'm not ever going to use. But like, how much storage is that? Like, do you guys keep everything?
I'm laughing because we're all shaking our head in like shame. We're like, yeah, I keep everything. Like I literally keep every single image. I'm bad because I'll shoot. You guys are probably going to be like, you're going to end the call right now at this.
JPEG?
I shoot JPEG and RAW.
Stop, Brandon.
Oh, man.
So I can have both.
I need some water. Jeez.
For what? What do you use JPEG for?
Just as like a backup.
I can hardly even shoot just raw. Oh my god.
And like I use it for previews and I use it for like before photos. They have their usage, but like at the same time, I don't need to be doing that. I'm just like paranoid.
Oh, bless.
Brandon, like how do you live in a fortress of hard drives? What's going on?
Yep, I'm looking at like 7 underneath my feet.
You know what? I kind of envy that. Like here's the thing. I'm a hater because I want to shoot JPEG and RAW, but I know that I can't afford another hard drive to put that extra space. Like I envy you. And I just
I'll send you one.
Thank you. Like I need at least like 10 terabytes for like one photo shoot at this point. Okay, tell us your darkest secret. Go, Brandon.
Oh, wait, I thought you were serious.
I am. I was joking. I'm joking. Brandon's like, oops, disconnected.
I'm like, my Wi-Fi suddenly cut out.
Okay, wait. I have one last question for you.
Okay.
What do you like other than photography? Because we know you like Animal Crossing. We know you like New York and New York traffic. What else do you like?
I feel like for me, it's like I realized that I didn't have like any other hobbies other than photography. You guys probably relate to that. You're like photography is all I do, and if it's not photography, I'm like doing a video, or if it's not video, I'm doing emails. It's like, and I like all of those things, so it's like hard to like do other stuff when I actually enjoy like my work. And I feel like actually quarantine has like been like opened up my eyes to other stuff, aka Animal Crossing. But honestly, like when I get this question, I'm like, I don't like what else is there to do? For me, I honestly find joy in like talking to my friends. I'm not sure if that's considered a hobby, but like I talk to so many of my friends every single day, even if it's not quarantine. Like I'm FaceTiming people, I'm like texting people, and then yeah, I don't know, like that's it.
Are you watching any shows on Netflix? Do you have any favorite movies right now you'd recommend to people?
Yeah, I just finished Ozark.
Oh, I heard about that. Is it great?
Show.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I saw that season 3 came out, and I realized that I'd never finished season 2. So I rewatched season 2, jumped on season 3. I'm like really good at finishing a show. Like I can finish a show in like a hot minute because I just
Love it.
I do other stuff while I like watch. Like I'll like edit a photo, or I'll like be on my phone or play Animal Crossing. So like I just whip through shows. But it was iconic, and I'm really sad that it's over.
Did you know that Jason Bateman directed like a ton of those episodes?
Yes.
And obviously he stars in it. He's incredible. He's so good.
The whole cast is insane. Like
Yeah.
the talent jumped out.
Have you watched Tiger King?
Oh my god.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm big into
Quarantine
like
classic.
if everyone's like recommending a show, I'll watch it because I'll always enjoy it. I'm like, if
Yep.
the public is enjoying it, I will too.
If you see memes
Yep.
about it on every meme page, you know, you got to watch it because you want to know what's going on. I saw the ones about Carol Baskins. I'm like, who is this? So I watched it. And I'm like, now I know. I get the Carol
Like, I
Baskins
get
joke.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys see that meme? Like, anything happens, it's like, it's because of that, you know, Carol Baskins.
Yeah, or like I will never financially recover from this. That like line. Me all the
So
time.
good.
Oh, man.
So good.
We need to do an episode where we just talk about memes out there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Did you wait? I'm sorry. Last one. Did you guys
Yeah.
watch Love is Blind? What is it? Blind
Yep.
Love is Blind?
Yep. Whip through that in like
Oh my God.
a solid week.
Wait, Brandon, did you and Flannery, did you guys see the one meme about Jessica saying like I'm 34 and Mark's 24 or something?
Oh yes.
Yes. Jessica. Mm-mm.
Hot
Jessica.
How's it like sharing a name with her?
I don't claim her as one of our own.
Don't claim her.
I just don't know what happened there. Wait, Brandon, did you guys see the meme where they're in separate rooms? He tries to recreate the pod experience, and it's like,
Yes.
this is not a real relationship.
Did you see when her dog started drinking her wine?
Oh my God, yes. Is that you?
It was
can't
like
do
that same scene.
I don't have a dog though. You
No.
can't do that though, right?
That's definitely not okay. Yeah.
I
She
mean-
was problematic to her core.
I mean, I have a cat. I don't even let my cat eat anything other than cat food.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend.
That's good.
You
Jess.
guys don't give your dog any wine, please.
Yeah. PSA.
PSA, just
no wine for dogs.
please
or
don't
cats.
get your dog drunk on any. Yeah, just water. Give your dog water and your animals water. I could go on. This could be a whole other episode, you guys.
I know.
For the next time.
Part 2.
Part 2.
For part 2 or Netflix ratings.
Love this.
So, Brandon, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us today. And you can go ahead and just let us know where we can find you online or shout out any other cool projects.
Yeah, you guys can find me. Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. I can't wait to like listen to all your episodes. You guys can find me at Brandon Woelfel everywhere. And you can pre-order my book Ultraviolet that's ready to drop this summer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Can't
We'll
wait.
put that on pre-order right now. Where can we buy it? Just on your website or?
You can head to shopcatalog.com. You'll find it there.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. And you can follow us on YouTube or Instagram at Light Muse Podcast or check out our website, lightmusepodcast.com. And until then, we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.